I've been warned. This is not what I think it is.
It's time for reaction. Welcome in. Old School Nerd.
Hey everybody, my name is Old School Nerd. Welcome in. It's Monday, and getting to one of these requests has been on there for a little bit. Went into my list during the 4th of July yesterday and looking through the list, and I came across one that's been requested quite a bit, so I thought, you know what, let's get this one done for all of you. Beast in Black. The song is called Blind and Frozen. This is the official video. I've been told when all these requests come in, you need to do this one. You're not ready for it. It's something you're not expecting. Okay. I've been warned. Okay, we're going to check this out. Check us out on OldSkuleNerd.com. Got all my social media posts, Patreon link for those who want to support the channel. We appreciate every single one of you, and the merchandise store. Please check out our merchandise store. We have a couple of new shirts coming out soon. Also, please like the video. Give us a thumbs up. We're getting like 1,000 views and less than 100 likes on the video. And the thumbs up, they really do help. Every single one of them helps. I promise you it does. And I thank you for each and every single one of those. Okay, here we go. Beast in Black. All right. I do kind of like this video because it's like in movie letterbox form, which is interesting. So let's see how this goes. Let me just make it just a little bit bigger so we can enjoy it together here. Okay. That's enough room for my big head, I think. Let's go. Kind of a Power Wolf kind of feel to it. Yeah. Epic symphonic metal. Rob Halford has a son. I get it. It's impressive. It's very impressive. Is it shocking? No. And why? Because in the last 8 months, since all of you reintroduced me to the new metal that's out, I don't think anything is off limits. We've seen women like Tatiana from Ginger go as low as anybody does. We've seen men and other people of various genders go super high, like they're trying to fight Celine Dion in the clouds. And I love all of it. You have people like Brittany Slays from Unleash the Archers in Canada, just bringing power metal back to epic levels. But because I am a Judas Priest fan, and I grew up listening to Rob Halford, to hear someone do a primal scream and be able to sing in a higher octave range doesn't shock me. When I was growing up, a lot of metal singers sang up in the higher ranges. Is he one of the more clear voices that I hear? Yeah. He's impressive as hell. Does he shock me? No. So many of you amazing people in the Old School Nerd community have been exposing me to so many different singers and bands with all these different themes and ideas and concepts. I've been tossed around in this crazy mix so much that it takes a lot to shock me now. And that's awesome. Whoever he is, awesome. I found the fact that the guitar players doing the epic guitar swing right here together, with the bass player and the guitarist both doing the rock swing, was more awkward than his voice. So, yeah. I like it, though. Beast in Black, totally digging this.
Frozen. Now I live with the pain every night, every day, as I read
She's like, should I take a hit off this bong? Because that's what half of you are thinking right now. Half of you are thinking, wow, this is all epic and this is really cool and she's a beautiful sorceress princess character or whatever. And then the other half of you are like, I wonder if she's going to hit that bong, bro. Really? Don't even try to deny it. You know you were thinking it. It's pretty epic, man. Every time they cut back to her, her head's coming away from it, and she has that out of her nose, the breathing out, and because it's so cold, it looks like the steam is coming, the condensation steam's coming out of her nose. It looks like she already hit the bong and she's coming off of it. That's what it looks like. I know I'm ruining it for all of you, aren't I? Sorry. Okay, I'll behave now. Y'all don't believe me. I promise. I'll behave. Scout's honor. I was never a Boy Scout. Bad guy? I hear a lot of bands do the epic symphonic sound where they sample strings from orchestras. That's straight up synth from the 80s. So there's a lot of parts of this that echo to me. I'm not saying they're influenced, but they just echo to me the traditional metal, whether it be the Ronnie James Dio, Rod Halford scream from the lead singer, or just the way they're stacking the phrasing in the guitars and the bass line to where it's always that constant horse gallop feel, like it's a runaway horse. It's just that roll in the song that never really stops. Classic guitar solos, just pure metal. And I've heard the term in the last couple months, traditional metal, where people go back and they echo that same classic metal, that traditional style of metal that made bands like Dio and, you're talking about Judas Priest and all these bands that just made metal so classic and overwhelming. And when they skip away from, they had so much synth at the beginning, the infused string accompaniments, and then now they're going straight into synthesizer Casio keyboard from the 80s sound. It really harkens me back. It really echoes that style. It was a part that when I was a kid, it just made you want to, like pop in Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren and watch him beat Skeletor, and it just made you believe. I really, really like this for just those reasons. My age dictates some of this stuff for me. Some of you are so young that you don't remember those times, but for me, this echoes my childhood. So I do have a grasp that I just really enjoy with this, where it really hits me. Just makes me feel like I'm young, which I love. So nice. Very nice. It's a lot of synthesizer.
For the heart can be blind and frozen. Now I live with the pain every night, every day, as I read those letters you wrote me. I gotta miss you like hell. I was wrong, I can tell. For the heart can be blind and frozen. Now I live with the pain every night, every day, as I read those letters you wrote me. How I long for the time when your lips would kiss mine and the promise was still.
Of course he did. Of course he did. Oh. She's either dead or she's in one of those enchanted sleeps in the snow. It's pretty cool. One thing, I don't even know what this is, but okay. One thing that I did like about this a lot is that it did remind me a little bit of that traditional metal. And let me give you just kind of thought. When I was a kid, when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old, when bands like Dio and Europe and Scorpions, and you had all these bands that were, Scorpions and Europe were like the two biggest metal bands when I was a little kid, right? But one thing that made them very European was their use of keyboards, okay? Most metal in the United States was that hair metal stuff, and they kind of shied away from the keyboards and tried to be more just straight guitar metal. So you had bands like Europe and Scorpions that would put in this keyboard style. And when I was a kid, they were like, oh, they're from Europe. They put a lot of keyboards in it. Oh, here's Motley Crue and Metallica. They only do guitars. So when I was a kid, that's how you identified whether a band was from Europe or not. And I know that's really dumb and it's completely not true, especially now. You can't even classify that like now. But in the early 80s, the only bands that were really still holding on to synthesizers and keyboards were the European ones, because that symphonic epic sound, even now, is strong in Europe. I mean, that's why you have bands like Nightwish, because it never died for them. For Europe, they've always held that whole Scorpion idea, the Scorpions, they could be as metal as anybody, but they could still do Winds of Change. And, it's like they just had more rounded sound, whereas in the US, everyone was going to that Sunset Strip, Motley Crue, California heavy metal, just nothing but guitars. And if you did have a guitar in your band, you weren't metal, you were more of a pop rock. And that's the 80s for me. It was weird like that. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying that when I see a band like this, it just reminds me of the Scorpions, reminds me of Europe. It reminds me of those bands when I was a kid that was like, man, they were still doing those epic songs that, when I started doing this channel 8 months ago, when someone said, you got to do Nightwish. And I was like, what's Nightwish? And they were like, oh. And the first time I heard Nightwish, I went, wow, this is that European metal where everything is epic. Like every song is like the movie The Highlander. it's Sean Connery's teaching you what to do, and Chris Lambert is fighting Kurgan, and there's lightning, and there's Queen, rah, and Freddie Mercury's singing. It just, every single one of these songs from Nightwish and Amaranth and Sabaton, when I see these songs from Europe and they're using all these synthesizers with the guitars and everything is always a story, or there's some kind of epic quest or epic imagery that's going on, not visually, but within the music. I think of Queen and the Highlander every single time. Some people ask me, like, you love like heavy, you like heavy stuff. I'm like, yeah. You like stuff that doesn't have any keyboards in it at all. Yeah. But the kid in me, dude, the kid in me, man, I can't even tell you how many times I saw the Highlander as a kid. Dude, I could almost quote you that movie. Fabulous Freebirds in Madison Square Garden. In the first 5 minutes, you think I didn't know all that stuff? Man, come on. So every time you guys put a song from a European metal band that harkens back to those days and they echo those sounds of my childhood, it's going to bring a smile on my face. I'm going to love it every time. So put in your comments below. Tell me if you also kind of feel this way, that some of these bands in Europe right now are just echoing the great metal that we grew up on, and it makes things better. It always does. Love that stuff, man. Love it.
There can be only one.